back on the tube again. Okay, now that your ears are properly disturbed, welcome to NC Beauty. I'm Anne. Thank you for stopping by. So today we're going to be doing a neutral beat. It is still a beat. It is still a thorough beat, but using all very neutral tones. I'm not even going to dip into any eyeshadows at all today, but we're still going to create that very nice deep crease. I'm not sure yet if I want to go with a neutral lippy as well, or something, you know, something that'll pop at you. Now, normally I would usually start with my eyebrows and my eyeshadow, but since today we're not doing eyeshadow, I don't have to worry about any fallout underneath my eyes. I am going to mix foundations because I'm out of my regular foundation that I usually use. I usually use the MAC Studio Fix. It's what I've been using for a long time now. I do bounce back and forth where at times I use, sometimes I use other things, but then I always end up coming back to my Studio Fix. So usually if I do, you know, want to have a very like beat face, I don't rub the foundation in. I dab it, of course, to maintain as much coverage as possible. But if I really want a very neutral, not neutral, but a very light foundation look, I will, you know, go like that. But today's case, like we said, this is not a natural look, okay? It is still a full face beat. So I want coverage, honey. I want coverage. Say it's a little bit too dark for my skin tone, but that's all right. I will even it out with a different foundation, with a lighter foundation. I'm only gonna put a little bit of this lighter foundation because at the same time, I don't want to overdo. I want to get as close to my skin tone as possible. Alright, so I'm not going to set that foundation with the powder quite yet because I want to go ahead and do my eyebrows, and when I do sculpt my eyebrows with the concealer and the foundation is already set, it's not going to blend in very well. And I'll show you what I mean. Now, I should mention, if you're using a pencil to fill in your brows, you might want to start by doing the brows first, because the pencil is kind of just going to slip and slide on top of your skin when you try to fill it in with foundation being wet or not matte. I don't like my eyebrows very, very dark, but I do like them to stand out. And so when I came across this eyeliner, I was like, hey, wait a minute, this will do the job. So I use it for my brows, not for an eyeliner. I use it for my brows. And it is long wearing. This thing literally will not move until I wash it off. Now I'm gonna go in with my concealer. And if your hands are not very steady to do a whole swipe at once, don't feel the pressure to do a one swipe or two swipes, you know. Just if your hands are not very steady, just do small strokes. Just keep them as straight as you can. but just do small strokes. There is no race to do like a one swipey thingy. I know it looks cool on these videos, but honey, don't give yourself no pressure, okay? Now for the top part of the brow, I will not go as light because I'm not trying to highlight that part of the eyebrow a whole lot. I'm just trying to clean it up and make it look nice and straight. So here I'm going to use a color that is close to the foundation that I'm already wearing. I'm going to use that same concealer I used underneath my brow, and I'm going to put it all over my eyelid so that later on when I'm using my normal face powder to contour the crease of my eyelid, it will show up. It will give it that nice contoured look that has definition to it. But first, in order to create that contrast, I need to have my eyelids pretty light. So now I'm going to set my eyelids with my RCMA transparent powder so that I don't end up with a whole lot of creasing. This powder is a transparent powder. It doesn't really have any color, which is what I need for here. I'm going in with my Studio Fix powder, and I'm gonna just dab in with my fluffy brush that has a pointy end, but it's still fluffy. And I'm just going to go into my crease as you know, just the way we usually put a crease color. So I'm just going to go into the crease.
You've become a remedy. I don't wanna be distracted. No, I'm having a reaction. Oh, I give it to you, give into your state of mind. You don't wanna be distracted. No, you're having a reaction. Oh, I can feel that I can feel you.
Actually, this is probably my favorite look. I don't know. I like that I could stay beat and still have that neutral look. So I'm going to take my beauty blender and I'm going to conceal and highlight underneath my eyes. And I'm bringing this concealer, you know, like a little bit into my nose this way so we can get a snatchier nose.
Now we lose it all. We let go. It's something in the way you move that makes me do.
And slowly by slowly we're getting snatchier and snatchier.
I'm broken, and even if the sky would fall in flames, I'm getting closer. Ooh.
I just feel like if I don't go like that, it won't work out. So, excuse me. So now that all the edges of this concealer are blended, I'm gonna set the whole thing, darling. To do so, I will be using the Fenty Pro Filter powder. Then for the parts that I concealed, I'm just going to use a lighter powder, and I'm using MAC loose powder. And I'm just going to set the parts that I concealed. Like I said, you could certainly use the same powder if you want to. I just like to have like that 3D look where I have definition, the lighter parts in the middle, darker on the outer edges. I just like that look. Sometimes I bake and sometimes I don't. Today I will bake, and even when I do bake, I only bake this section, which is the part of my face that gets the most oily. So, but underneath my eyes is very dry. So I'm only gonna bake right this section right here. I'm not gonna go underneath my eyes because that doesn't work for me. It works for some, for me, not so much. So every skin type is different, every preference is different, so makeup is something that you just have to tailor to your liking. No two people like the exact same thing, and so, you know, I just like to keep that in mind. While that one bakes, I'm going to go back to the color that I had, the powder that I had used in my crease, and I'm going to put a little bit of it underneath my eyes, like right here. This will just define the eyes, give it some good shape. So some of you may wonder how come I didn't do that whole stripey thingy. I will do it, but at the very end, because I don't like that very straight harsh line that sometimes powders tend to leave. So I do it at the very end, and I don't let it like bake, you know, I just kind of let it sit for 2 seconds and then I wipe it off. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and begin wiping off the powder, the powder that was baking. And at this point, don't worry if you look a little powdery, because you know what? We're gonna spray it down and it's all going to settle back onto the skin. For contouring, I'm going to use a MAC eyeshadow that is completely matte. If you want to contour with an eyeshadow, it's perfectly fine. Just make sure that it is matte. No shimmers, unless you want a shimmer in your contour. I mean, do you? But you want an eyeshadow that is completely matte, no shimmers, no, you know, nothing. It's just matte powder. I'm slightly just using my finger to soften that contour. I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to use Becca Presco Pop. And I love it. You just apply with your finger because it's a bit creamy, and I'm doing it very light-handedly. You see how it is? It's almost like, I don't know. It's so smooth. It's so smooth. It's very finely milled. It doesn't have those huge glitter particles. And I'm gonna put a little bit too underneath my eyebrow, just a tiny bit, just so I have that little more. I'm going to use a eyeshadow. This is Bobbi Brown Rich Navy, and I'm going to make a very soft eyeliner. You know, I don't want it to be a line. I'm only putting it at the outer corner of my eye, just to kind of bring it up some, without seeing any particular solid line. All right, so I'm gonna put on some mascara. Next, I'm going to pop on my lashes. I'll tell you what, lashes will take your look from 100 to 1000 in 2.5 seconds. Cause I tell you what? And we're in business. We are in business. Let me tell you one thing. Don't ever judge a look until the lashes are on. When the lashes are on, that's when you can properly look at it and be like, did it work out or not? Because I'm telling you, lashes will gather your whole look together. Hey. It will gather your whole look together and package it into one beautiful piece. Hey, yeah, okay. Are we gonna do a neutral lip or are we gonna do an extra lip? I mean, we've been very neutral with this situation. So, how about we do both and then I'll let you pick, okay? Let's start with the neutral. I'm slightly overlining, not much, nothing too extra. Honey, we are done. It is complete. Am I snatched enough? Mm-hmm. Let's get some spray on. So this is the final look with the neutral toned lippy. It has a tiny, small, muted tone of pink in it, but really not that much. I'm going to try this look with a dark red lip and let's see how that turns out. So this is what it looks like with a red lippy. What'd you say? What you say? This is a prime example of how you can change one thing and you bring a completely different vibe to the look. Because with the other lip, this was a very, you know, like neutral, low-key look. But with this ombre deep red, honey, it just brings such a sexy, sultry vibe to the situation. Which, honestly, I love them both. I don't even think I can pick which one I like better. Like, I love them both. Anyway, let me know in the comment section which one you prefer, which lippy you prefer with this look. I'm in love with both of them. Anyway, thank you for sticking by. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you found any of this stuff helpful, enjoyable, or any of the above. And don't forget to turn your post notifications on when you subscribe. That way you will be notified whenever I post a video. Anyway, it's been fun. See you next time.